So maybe you've been watching King of the Table or World Arm Wrestling League or some other fine arm wrestling event, and you've decided that you want to become an arm wrestler. So the purpose of this video is going to be to kind of help get you on your way. A lot of people have contacted me in the past to make programs or design workout routines for them, and I would much rather do it like this because I think it's more accurate. I don't like to talk about you should do this many sets of this many reps of this. I think that you have to have a lot more flexibility in your routine, especially with a sport like arm wrestling. So I would say that there's two sides to entering the world of arm wrestling. There's the people, and then there's the self training. So training you do with others and training you do by yourself. And I would suggest to do both of those as soon as you get the idea that you want to become an arm wrestler. The first thing I'll talk about is training with other people. So get connected to the community. Probably easiest way, in my opinion, is get on the ArmBet app and just start reaching out to people. You will find clubs. You will get connected to the community. When you train as a beginner, arm wrestling can be very demanding. Don't do too much. I'd say at the beginning, limit yourself to one good training session a week. Most of our guys are doing 2 sessions a week, but I would say that safety is super important when you start arm wrestling. You cannot think about pinning each other all the time. This is what's going to cause terrible form, and terrible form leads to injuries. Best thing you can do is get with a club and work with the senior guys who will hold you and allow you to work in an intensity that makes sense for you. You want to have your failure point probably 20 seconds and beyond. So don't be moving quick. Don't be hitting. Not until you get much more comfortable. So go to practice, work with senior guys. They'll coach you on inside arm wrestling, outside arm wrestling, strap pulling, in a safe manner. Arm wrestling training takes a long time to recover from because it's mostly you're doing the negative cycle. And typically for most people, 2 times a week is extremely strenuous. As you build your routine, everything will revolve around your training sessions, ideally. What you're looking to gain from the training sessions. Every single arm wrestler that you talk to that's been arm wrestling longer than you has a secret or a gift or a reason that they're starting to understand about the sport and something that they leverage to make themselves great at the table. It's your job as an arm wrestler, as a beginner arm wrestler, to try and capture the lessons from every single person that you meet. The more people that you train with, the more clubs you interact with, the more competitions that you go to, ultimately will lead to your greatest level of technical grasp of the sport. You're looking for stimulation of all the proper vectors and chains and strengths that's going to be required for victory. When you start to understand that this is basically completely a hand and forearm sport, that's when you can probably start to do your gym exercises more accurately. Nothing wrong with doing your gym exercises first. It can probably set you up to do better at the club right away. But from training on the table, most pros will all train the same way. Most pros are all doing similar variations of the same exercises. There's little small differences, But most guys are doing the same exercises. Okay, so to the gym. If you, for whatever reason, you just can't get with people, every once in a while you'll have to lift heavy. And I'd suggest having your heavy days at the beginning similar to what you would be doing with an arm wrestling club. So if you're lifting super heavy, do it once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe. But in the gym, the forearm muscles respond really well, in my opinion, to a high degree of volume, much higher, in my opinion, than most chains and most muscle groups do. So the main target when you arm wrestle is attacking weakness in the other person. So you're always kind of targeting the person's fingertips. You're always going after the pronation of their palm. So yeah, you're gonna need to be rocking a strap all the time, just in case. But a strap can double as a piece of exercise equipment. You can get yourself a belt. If you go to the gym and you don't have any exercise equipment, just start doing a ton of hammers, okay, without having to go down all the way. Copy whatever you do, you get better at. So the more closely you can replicate the movements at the arm wrestling table, the better off you're gonna be. So do a lot of hammers, but don't let yourself open up too much. Kind of stay locked, rock on a preacher. Make cables your friends. Cables are gonna be probably your number one piece of training equipment. You're gonna hog that cable every time you go to the gym. If you even just start out with doing tons of wrist curls on a cable machine, this is gonna help you a lot. Keep your rep ranges fairly high at the beginning. So if you're doing heavy days or table sessions, all the days in between, you can do reps of like 30 to 50 continuously. This is going to aid in your healing and recovery, and it's just going to build your base and help you get back to the table quicker, so that you're going to be able to make those days that really matter really count. If you start to get workout equipment, I'd say that the first thing you should really get is a belt and some kind of cupping device. Belt is going to cover off so many big parts of arm wrestling. All your rising stuff, like this is so important. This upwards drive. You look at all the top arm wrestlers, they're going to be able to control your hand. Okay, this ability to rise sets up so much in the sport of arm wrestling. It talks about who's holding on to who. It talks about efficiency. It talks about the technical advantage. So you need to get very good at driving your hand upwards. All right. You also need to become very good at pronating. Okay, turning your hand over through your thumb. A lot of different grips you can use, but these two motions with the belt are probably your most important. You can do supination work. Belt is a fantastic tool, and it helps you get closer to arm wrestling than what a lot of stuff in most gyms will let you. Talk about cupping handles. Get yourself a multi-spinner. Make yourself a multi-spinner as soon as possible. Multi-spinner is closer to arm wrestling than a standard cupping handle is, so it's going to kind of teach you stability and balance at the same time as your arm wrestling. You can be doing this stuff every single day of your life. You really can. So long as you don't go too heavy, so long as you never feel pain, that can be your guide. Arm wrestling wise, exercise wise, you want it always to feel good. That goes for table practice and time in the gym. So That's why I don't really like to give any solid prescription on this many sets, this many reps. A lot of it's by feel. Make table time your priority. Table time is your priority. Build your entire training routine around the table. Supplement with gym exercises as much as you can. As much as you can. Show up to arm wrestling practice fresh and healthy and ready to give your absolute best effort. Yeah, well, good luck. Good luck. Maybe I'll see you guys at a yeah, fun. Or live with someone like Jody. That'll get you strong.